you've been in and out of court over 130 times in the past 3 years alone for the work that you do. Have you ever thought of like giving up, or why does this sacrifice really matter to you as a person?
Yes, over the past 3 years, yes, I've been in court over 150 times. And at one point in 2017, I felt like giving up. But I asked myself, if I don't do this, then who? Remember, Jamii Forums are pioneers of this kind of movement on claiming the space for freedom of expression, especially online. And if we do not set an agenda, while the country does not have a law of personal data protection, then we are doomed. So as for me, it's not about me as Maxence. It's about setting up a base for people who are trying to express themselves online, even offline, but also trying to make sure that people do understand that this is a calling. It's not something we are doing as a business. It's a calling that we're making sure that we protect this space for citizens to express themselves.
We have challenges, especially when it comes to speaking truth to power in an environment like Tanzania, where the government is very strict on what goes out. So how can journalists prepare for these challenges?
And one thing, I think it's not about Tanzania. I think it's a global kind of issue. So let's not think it's about Tanzania. Any government would love to control the media. True. Any government would love to control critical voices. So it's about knowing the space you're working within. So as for Tanzania and for our region, East Africa, I may say media practitioners, journalists, and citizen journalists need to know the legal landscape in their space. If you're in Tanzania, you have to understand the legal landscape in your country. Also, you need to know your rights. People do not know their rights. That's why people do feel like I do not have to do this. But the moment you know your rights and you know the legal landscape, you may be intimidated, but in the end, you need to know that there is a process that will help you to get your freedom if your freedom is taken away. But also, media practitioners, including digital citizens and journalists, need to understand how to protect their freedom when they're online. When you're online, you need to know how to protect your identity. You need to know how to tell stories, but you also need to understand the language of presenting your stories. So also media practitioners need to understand how the space works and how you should write your stories when authorities have changed the narrative. So the change of narrative should not change the way you do stories, but should also try to blend in and understand the way you can navigate the space, but make sure that you know the laws around the space.
Tanzania hasn't provided data on the pandemic since April 29th, when 480 confirmed cases and 16 deaths were reported by then. Have journalists been able to estimate updated numbers since then?
We have the Statistics Act in Tanzania. So it restricts you from publishing unofficial data. So there is no journalist who can do such a story. So there are no such stories.
Tanzania procured a large shipment of Madagascar's COVID organics herbal tonic. How has it been distributed? Are people anxious to, just get their hands on it and try it out? How is the situation like?
People were anxious to get the cure, but honestly, it hasn't been distributed anywhere. So there is no one who is using it. We do not know who is using it. Probably our leaders may be using it, but we do not know, honestly. And there is no update on what is happening with this kind of Madagascar cure that was claimed to be imported to Tanzania. But again, as long as there are rumors that we do not have coronavirus, people are no longer interested in the cure.